Hello, it's now 8 a.m. Hanoi time. You're with me, Hoai Leung, on VTV News, live from Hanoi. And let's first check out the headlines for this hour. Vietnam, Belarus strengthen defense ties as a new agreement approved in Minsk. Vietnamese agricultural benefits from biotechnology. And the Central Highlands Cultural spotlighted in Hanoi as part of the Vietnamese Family Day, June the 28th. Now, top news for this hour. Vietnam and Belarus will continue to strengthen ties in defense as well as coordinate to ensure the safety of diplomatic personnel and citizens of each nation traveling and working in the other country. This agreement was recently approved by Vietnamese Public Security Minister General Trần Đại Quang and Belarus State Security Committee Chairman Valery Vakuchik on Friday in Minsk. The two sides also agreed to strengthen exchange visits at all levels and share experiences in the field of national security, especially in the prevention of organized crime, transnational crime, and terrorism using high technology. They also agreed to promote cooperation in training specialized staff to fight against national security violations and economic crimes. Also, during his official visit to Belarus, General Trần Đại Quang met with Belarus Prime Minister Andrei Kobyakov. The ministers affirmed that Belarus will create favorable conditions for future cooperation between law enforcement agencies in Belarus and Vietnam's ministries of public security. Several commercial banks recently raised their interest rates almost simultaneously, causing concern about a new interest rates raise in the banking sector. This may create negative impact for businesses as well as macroeconomic situation. More in the following story.
Several commercial banks have raised their deposit interest rates by 0.2% to 0.5%, mainly for 13 months or less, which is far higher than that of state-owned banks. What is the reason for this increase?
In my opinion, the recent increase of deposit interest rates comes down to the regulation of supply and demand, not the capital shortage. Because of the rapid increase in demand for loans, the bank must find ways to mobilize capital to supply their customers. This increase doesn't mean a new wave of rising interest rates. There has been a growth in total credit demand over the last 6 months, which has affected the credit situation. This situation reflects a natural fluctuation of the economy. Therefore, I don't think there will be an interest rate raise in the banking system.
Another reason is that money mobilized by short-term deposits account for up to 70% of total capital resources, while more than half of banks' loans are booked for medium and long terms. In order to ensure liquidity, lenders have to raise interest rate for the long term to lower the difference between deposits and loans.
Earlier this year, many banks offer lower interest rates. Now they are raising their short-term deposit interest rates, which means they can mobilize more funds for making loans.
However, increasing the deposit interest rate entails a respective rise in the loan interest rate, which creates a burden for businesses in need of funds. Although the State Bank of Vietnam has asked commercial banks to keep their loan interest rate stabilized, this goal seems hard to be achieved in the current situation.
Good news for foreign investors in Vietnam with a new decree which allows higher foreign stakes in Vietnam firms. On Thursday, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng ratified Decree number 60 to replace Decree number 58, which included regulations on removing limits on foreign ownership in listed companies. The new decree will not only have positive impact on the development of the securities market, but also accelerate the privatization process that the government is determined to hasten efficiently. Under the new decree, foreign stakes can arise up to 100% from most sectors, and firms will also be allowed to propose their own limits. The current regulation capped foreign stakes in public companies at 49%. In recent years, Vietnam's garment and textile sector experienced strong growth in production capacity, making Vietnam one of the largest textile exporters in the world. According to the Vietnam Cotton Fiber Association, by 2030, garment production worldwide will expand to twice its size, with Asia contributing to 60% of the total production. Vietnam is expected to be an attractive destination for foreign textile investors because of its competitive labor, stable political situation, and favorable business environment. Several companies from China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, and the United States and South Korea have made large investments in the sector since the beginning of last year. An exhibition to introduce Vietnamese products to Korean supermarkets was held in Ho Chi Minh City on Friday. 60 booths with 200 products from 54 Vietnamese firms in agricultural, seafood, textile and garments have been displayed at the exhibition. This program offers a chance for Vietnamese enterprises to introduce their best products to 30 South Korean importers, and they are key suppliers of Lotte Mart. The exhibition will run until this Sunday. Currently, South Korea is Vietnam's third largest trading partner and one of its biggest foreign investors. Now, biotechnology in agriculture can help to create new healthy seedlings which produce high yields. This announcement was made in a conference on developing biotechnology in agriculture on Saturday in Hanoi. What advantages can biotechnology bring for Vietnamese agriculture? The next report has more details.
Nguyễn Hồng Lâm has been planting corn for 40 years. He has tried many types of seedlings, but last year was the first time Lâm planted a genetically modified crop. The crop has turned out to be healthy without weed, worm, or disease. Moreover, Lâm only had to use a small amount of pesticides and herbicide for the crop. He estimated that the crop brought him a profit of $137 per hectare.
From now on, I will only plant genetically modified crops because it does not require too much labor, not to mention its good quality. Biotechnology in agriculture can help shorten planting time and improve product quality. This can raise Vietnam's competitiveness in the era of global integration.
At the conference, representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development said that biotechnology development should be tailored to the demand of agricultural production. Enterprises play a key role in connecting agricultural production to market demand. Therefore, they should be more involved in further research so the production will meet market demands. According to experts, the application of biotechnology can help Vietnamese agriculture boost production and progress towards sustainability.
There are about 140,000 enterprises in Ho Chi Minh City. However, only 15,000 enterprises are paying their tax online. Ho Chi Minh City authorities are encouraging more enterprises to register online tax payment.
It took the accounting department of this company a long time to finish tax payment procedures using the traditional method. 2 months ago, this company switched to paying taxes online. This new method has saved them a lot of time.
We only need to input information via our computer, following the instruction of the tax department. It took us only 20 to 30 minutes to complete the whole process. It helps us finish the registration on time.
mà cũng không bị thiệt hại cũng như bị phạt.
100% of enterprises register online tax payment. However, only 15% of those actually use this method.
Hiện tại thì chúng tôi đang tích cực tuyên truyền.
We are collaborating with banks and enterprises to create a workflow between the three sides. Banks serve as a bridge, helping enterprises to fulfill their obligation. We have connected with 28 commercial banks. 15 banks have implemented their technical platform to transfer the money from enterprises to our online tax payment gateway.
Và có 15 ngân hàng đã kết nối được.
One reason that enterprises are still slow to adopt online tax payment is because they are not familiar with this new process. Security and accuracy in payment is also another issue.
Cái việc thanh toán qua kênh điện tử giúp ích rất nhiều cho các cái doanh nghiệp.
Online tax payment has two major benefits. It helps cut time off the administrative procedure, and it helps track the data and history of the tax payments of enterprises. For banks, we are implementing solutions for security and customer information protection.
Báo cáo, thống kê.
Local authorities also collaborate closely with banks and enterprises to implement the online payment system.
Chúng tôi sẽ thành lập cái tổ công tác.
We will organize different groups to instruct enterprises in completing their online tax payment. We will also organize campaigns to raise more awareness of this new tax payment method, introduce the benefits for enterprises so that they will be more encouraged to switch to the new method.
The General Department of Taxation aims to have 90% of businesses paying their taxes online by the end of September. With the collaboration of the government, banks, and enterprises, Ho Chi Minh City can set a good example for other cities and provinces to follow.
In the later part of the program, children support disadvantaged peers in mountainous areas. And the Central Highlands Culture spotlighted in Hanoi as part of the Vietnamese Family Day, June the 28th.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News, live from Hanoi. Over 100 disadvantaged children from Ho Chi Minh City got the new chance to voice their opinions and wishes at a forum held in the city on Friday. The children talk about the lack of playgrounds in the city, the difficulties that disadvantaged children face in accessing entertaining activities, and the need to renovate the school syllabus and add more life skills classes. The forum aims to raise public awareness about children's right to participate in policy making that affects them directly, especially for those of disadvantaged backgrounds. The Ho Chi Minh City is now home to 1.4 million children, of which 15,000 are disadvantaged. An exhibition of paintings entitled The Beginning opened on Saturday in Hanoi. The show hopes to raise money to support children living in the mountainous areas in Vietnam. What makes the painting so special? Let's take a closer look in the next story.
I like the picture Chit Chat the most. In this picture, 3 friends and I were watching the sea and talking together. I feel the spirit of friendship and summer in it. I usually draw the places I've been and express my feelings through what I drew. I like this picture of the rose vase the most because my mom arranged the flowers, and I think that is the most beautiful picture I have drawn.
Those are the pure feelings of 4 children, Tấn Kiệt, Minh Châu, Hà Như, and Hoàng Mai. They made oil paintings and exhibited them in their own gallery entitled The Beginning. As the name implies, the exhibit showcased the children's first work after 3 years of studying art.
I was so impressed. The children are just 8 to 13 years old, but they draw very well. My children are the same age, so I hope that this gallery can inspire them to draw more and develop their imagination.
After visiting rural mountainous regions in Vietnam, these young children had the idea to use their art to raise money for other children living there. With their parents' support, their idea has now become reality.
I saw that friends living in the mountains didn't have enough clothes, blankets, food and schooling. So I hope that money collected from the gallery will provide more support for them, especially for next winter. These paintings are not professional, and we don't expect this event to be something big. We hope this is a place for visitors to share love for the arts. Moreover, the exhibit hopes to raise awareness about children living in disadvantaged areas in Vietnam.
The show will be open until Sunday, July 28th in Hanoi.
To preserve the cultural identity of ethnic groups and to raise the awareness of the green development in Vietnam, a class themed Recycle Redesigned was organized by Tí Toái Atelier, an art center in Hanoi. The class has attracted many young children to participate. Let's join them.
Not many people wear this design now. However, it is the source of inspiration for these small children, aged 5 to 15, to design new clothes under the instruction of art teachers from Sweden.
And they dress quite similar to some of the minority people in Vietnam. And then switching from Swedish minority people to Vietnamese minority people, and give some inspiration for the kids when they later on today will start working with the t-shirt, cutting and mixing and making new patterns and so.
Through art, I want to teach my students lessons about green living and sustainability development. I want them to know that if we keep using our natural resources unwisely, we will run out of them in 10 to 20 years.
Young participants were asked to think about where they want to live in the future. They designed clothes based on the weather and the characteristics of the area.
Em làm định làm một khuôn mặt cười.
Em định làm áo có mấy bông hoa. Cắt cái râu ra xong rồi vá thêm những mảnh khác để cho nó màu nó sẽ phong phú hơn ấy ạ.
Tí Toái Atelier was established in June 2013 to create an art space for small Vietnamese children. The center hopes to help students develop their love for art and nurture their curiosity to learn about different phenomena around the world.
Now, Sunday, June the 28th, marks Vietnamese Family Day. The Cultural Tourism Village of Vietnamese ethnic groups is hosting diverse activities to mark the occasion. The event aims to introduce ethnic traditions to festival goers. Let's join in the festive atmosphere in the Central Highlands region in the following.
The highlight of this event is the water worship ceremony, one of the traditional rituals of an Ede ethnic group. The religious ceremony is normally held in March every year to pray for rain, better weather, and a prosperous life.
The water worship ritual is very important to our village. If we do not perform this ritual, we will face bad luck in our daily lives.
Other events, such as a photo exhibition featuring Ede matriarchy traditions, like a Khmer prayer ritual for family safety, also introduce visitors to unique features of Central Highlands ethnic groups.
Each ethnic group has a distinct culture. The festival of Ede Ethnics is very impressive and interesting. The prayer ritual for family safety is a unique aspect of ethnic culture in the Central Highlands. It illustrates ethnic family traditions and preserves traditional cultural values.
This event is held annually at the Cultural Tourism Village of Vietnamese ethnic groups. It is expected to stimulate a sense of responsibility for building prosperous, progressive and happy families, and to encourage families to promote traditional values.
The Vietnam Choreographers Association has played a vital role in enriching national cultural identity. Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam praised the association's achievement at their 6th National Congress. He said that they have represented unique characteristics of Vietnam's 54 ethnic groups. Delegates discussed further training for young talent and exchange of experience with the ASEAN and other continents. Choreographer Chu Thủy Quỳnh has been re-elected as the association's chairwoman. The southern province of Tiền Giang is currently among the most attractive tourist destinations in the Mekong River Delta region. More holidaymakers have visited the province for the second or even the third time in recent years. What strategies have the local authorities employed to attract tourists? We have the answers in the following report.
Tiền Giang has developed its services based on its geographic strengths in order to draw visitors' attention. Ecotourism is a key factor. Having many rivers, canals, and islets along the Tiền River, tours offer holidaymakers great scenery and famous fruit specialties, including dragon fruit, tamarind, and star apple. All of the fruits have popular brand names, so tourists can recognize them easily.
This place is full of green trees. I love it. Local people are friendly.
In our group, some people have visited here twice or even 3 times. For some others, it is their first experience. We all like the trip, especially the environment.
Tiền Giang province is expected to welcome 1.5 million tourists this year, with some 600,000 international guests. By 2020, it targets 2.2 million visitors with 900,000 foreign guests. To reach that goal, Tiền Giang has focused on improving services at ecological tourist sites while preserving the typical rural culture of the Delta province.
As we can see, designing tours based on local geographical and cultural features will make us unique and more competitive, particularly in this time of international integration. We have made a regulation that requires tourist agencies to offer tours that promote local brand names.
As ecotourism plays a vital role in achieving sustainable economic development, it has become a main strategy for the tourism sector in Vietnam. For provinces in Vietnam, tapping their ecotourism potential will help them take the lead in attracting more and more visitors.
And let's now review the news making the headlines over the last week.
The 13th National Assembly closed its month-long 9th session in Hanoi on Friday. After the session, the legislature adopted 11 draft laws and 9 resolutions. These include a resolution on social insurance payments for workers and another on strengthening measures to prevent wrongful convictions and provide compensation for victims of miscarriages of justice. The decision to build the Long Thanh International Airport outside the southern metropolis of Ho Chi Minh City was also approved. At the session, lawmakers exchanged opinions on 15 important draft laws which directly relate to human rights, the rights of citizens, and operations of state-owned agencies. Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc and 4 ministers took the floor during the National Assembly Q&A sessions.
Dạy thêm là nó giảm đi.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng proposed a number of measures to bolster cooperation between Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam at the 7th Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam Summit in Naypyidaw, Myanmar on Monday. The Vietnamese leaders said the quartet show enhanced links in policies and infrastructure to facilitate cross-border transport and trade. Prime Minister Dũng and other leaders also reviewed the implementation of the Mekong cooperation mechanisms associated with the bilateral cooperation process between countries and the sustainable development of the Mekong sub-region. Vietnam's participation in this summit signifies its commitment to these cooperation mechanisms to reinforce its leadership in Mekong cooperation and step up its cooperation with other countries in the region.
The National Consumer Price Index increased by 0.55% in the first half of this year, up just 0.86% on the same period last year, according to the General Statistics Office. This is the lowest CPI increase for the past 10 years. On-month CPI increases in the past 6 months registered at an average 0.1% growth. The prices of food and petrol and oil products experienced a decrease in the past months. Rice supply increased, leading to a rice price fall. The average price of petrol and oil products in the past 6 months decreased by 5% compared to the end of last year. If the current price trend remains, GDP growth and inflation targets alike should be achievable. The General Statistics Office claimed that efficient policies in the past 2 years had helped stabilize prices in the domestic market.
Typhoon Kujira hit the coast of the northern provinces of Quảng and Taiping on Wednesday noon, causing heavy rains and strong winds of up to 90 kilometers per hour. Typhoon Kujira left 8 dead and 7 missing people by Friday morning. After moving further inland to Quảng and Haiphong, the storm decreased to a tropical low pressure. Northern mountainous provinces remained at high risk of flash flood and landslides. The northern mountainous province of Sơn La was the most heavily affected locality. There are left 7 people confirmed dead and 4 missing. Local authorities are urgently implementing relief efforts and supporting affected people.
Professor Trần Văn Khê, known as the master of traditional Vietnamese music, died at the age of 94 early Wednesday morning after nearly a month of fighting for his life at a hospital in Ho Chi Minh City. According to doctors, he was suffering from lung, heart and kidney problems. Professor Khê said in his will that he wanted to be laid to rest following Buddhist funeral rites. His coffin will be kept at his home in Binh Thạch district for a week to 10 days. His house, which was given to him by Ho Chi Minh City's authorities, will later be used as a commemorative house to remember him and his contribution to traditional Vietnamese music.
And after a week in review is the updated weather forecast. And that's it for this hour. Do log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go for more updated news. Thanks for your time and goodbye.